What is up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of At the Movies with me, your host, Steve Trezza, on channel Trezzanator. So I just watched the movie Blade Runner 2049, which is a sequel to the 1982 movie Blade Runner. We got the sequel that nobody asked for, but it is here. It is getting rave reviews. I'm going to let you know what I thought about it. And then in the end, I'm going to give you my top 5 what the fuck Blade Runner questions, because there were some in there. There were quite a few, actually. So as always, this video is going to contain spoilers. I'm going to go into it. So if you haven't seen it yet, if you don't want me to spoil it, then click away and then come back, because I want you to watch my video. You can come back and then you can see if we agree on the movie. As always, if you haven't already, please subscribe to my channel. It is Trezzanator. You can search it on YouTube. I should come up. Or if you're watching this video, just hit that big old subscribe button on the bottom of the screen. It would really mean a lot to me. Thank you. So overall impressions of the movie, I thought the movie was a very, very good movie. It's a movie, like I said, that nobody really asked for, but it was done so well. It was done very well. It was long. I did have a couple gripes with it, nothing major though. It did drag and it was slow, but that doesn't mean it's a bad movie. It just wasn't action-packed like you might expect from some of these sci-fi movies, especially in today's world where everything is constant action. There was a lot of dialogue, a lot of story. So since I'm talking about the story, let's get right into that. The story was fantastic. You took what you had with Blade Runner, the original Blade Runner, you flash forward 30 years, stuff had happened within those 30 years. Some people may call it plot holes, and there were some plot holes in the movie, and I'll get to that, but we didn't need to know all of this. We pick up that something had happened. There had been a blackout and they had lost everything. So they lost all of this data and had to almost essentially just rebuild again. I don't think we need to know why that happened. And I applaud that. I think that the movie did a really good job setting up the story. So I'm going to tell you the story based on if you had seen the original Blade Runner, because if I start to get to the original Blade Runner storyline, then we're going to be here forever. I will have a retro review of Blade Runner coming out shortly after I release this video, so you can go over there, check that out, and then come over here and check this out if you haven't seen the original Blade Runner and you just want to see the review. So the story focuses on Ryan Gosling, who's a replicant, basically a bioengineered human. Not a robot, actual physical biology. So in the past, the replicants were used as slave labor, and then they revolted. And so then they were not allowed on Earth because they're illegal. And if they come down to Earth, they have to hire a cop to go and retire them, so he kills them, which is basically a Blade Runner. I told you I wasn't going to give you the story of the first one, and I just did. So now we're 30 years in the future. Ryan Gosling is a replicant, but his model is said to obey. His model are set out to hunt down the other older model of replicants that are now living on Earth, hiding from civilization. So one of the main storylines throughout the movie is Officer K, Ryan Gosling, finds out that Rachel, who is the replicant from the original Blade Runner, had a child with Harrison Ford, Deckard. And now he must find that child. Because now we see that replicants are capable of reproducing. And if this gets out, all shit's gonna break loose. So that's like the main plot of the movie. Ryan Gosling is on a quest to find this child. And originally he was set out to kill it, but then he kind of has this whole inner struggle, which happened in the first Blade Runner, the whole inner struggle with Harrison Ford. And then he believes that he is the child. And a whole bunch of shit happened. Throughout the entire movie, through the twists and turns, as slow as it was, I was really on the edge of my seat, wondering what's going to happen next, trying to figure out what's going to happen next, because it leaves you guessing. And a lot of movies don't do that nowadays. Overall, the story was great. However, there was a lot of information going in there. And because there were some plot holes from years past that they didn't really explain, if you missed some things, you may have wound up confused. After the movie ended, I even had to kind of go and check online because I was confused of some stuff. It's not saying I didn't enjoy the movie. It's just that they threw a lot of information at you and you can easily miss things or you can easily misinterpret things. So I think at points it was hard to follow, but overall I think the story was great. Denis Villeneuve. Believe that's how you pronounce his name. If you've seen Arrival, he had directed Arrival. He's a fantastic director. The direction and the cinematography, some of the shots that were used in this movie were just gorgeous. As a film person, sitting in the theater, I remember sitting there and being like, wow, that's a fantastic shot. Wow, that's a fantastic shot. Wow, that's a fantastic shot. Visually stunning. It's art. It's art. He did a really good job directing. He did a really good job keeping me on the edge of my seat. The acting in the movie, all of the actors were pretty good. Jared Leto, always playing that creepy weird guy, did a fantastic job of that. We have Ryan Gosling as the lead. He did a good job of playing the lead, as he normally does through most of his movies. And then you have Harrison Ford, and I was waiting for Harrison Ford to show up for so long. He doesn't really show up until about definitely the third act and kind of like in the middle of the third act of the movie. So he shows up near the end of the movie and he's only in it for a little while. But the way that they used him was perfect. So you've got a fantastic story with minor plot holes. You got great acting. It's a little bit hard to follow, but still super entertaining and just a beautiful, beautiful movie. Then we have miscellaneous things. The special effects were fantastic. The original Blade Runner did a good job predicting what technology would be like today. And a lot of things that we saw in the original Blade Runner kind of came true. I think a lot of things that you see in Blade Runner 2049, like the holograms, I think a lot of that will probably one day come true. Maybe not 2049, but who knows, because technology advances so fucking fast. I think we can see a lot of that technology make its way into our world. I also love that we are told that there are 9 worlds in Blade Runner, that there are 9 other worlds, but we still remain on Earth. Because I think once you step foot off of Earth in Blade Runner, you ruin the mysticalness of it. You ruin the mystery. You ruin what is it like out there. If they do make another Blade Runner movie, I feel like you need to keep it centered on Earth. We can't go out there. It's going to ruin the movies. It does a fantastic job of just having you wonder, well, what is it? What is out there? So the movie was good. I had a good time. Artistically, it was great. I wouldn't be surprised if it was actually nominated for an Oscar, something that happened with Mad Max a few years ago. I think this is strikingly similar, and it might even be better than Mad Max. I'm gonna dial that back. I think Mad Max might be a little bit better. I am gonna grade the movie, but before I do, I'm gonna give you my top 5 Blade Runner 2049 what the fuck questions. And these are some of the plot holes that happened in the movie, some things that I had to question myself. Number 1, how are new replicants made to obey? Now, at the beginning of the movie, we were told that the new replicants that were being made were made to obey, and they obey us, and that's why that they are allowed on Earth and they're not outcast like the older models. However, Officer K and Love, who's Wallace's right-hand woman, or right-hand replicant, I guess, show numerous times in the movie that they are capable of disobeying their superiors. So we have K lying to his lieutenant, Lieutenant Joshi, saying that he had taken care of the child and killed him, when he didn't. And then we also have Love, who kills Lieutenant Joshi and says that, I'll just tell Wallace that you tried to kill me. There's a bunch of this throughout the movie, so obviously, if they're made to obey, it's not working. And they never really explain that, or explain why. I guess you could kind of see it with Officer K because he kind of starts questioning things and kind of has that like whole push with the dream when he starts believing that he's real. That kind of maybe breaks him out of the spell, but I don't know, I don't get it. Number 2, why does Wallace want replicants to, well, replicate? So upon finding out that replicants can birth children, he wants his replicants, his newer models, to be able to have this ability so that he can easily birth replicants, send them off-world for slave labor, and then it's slave labor, so it's free, so I guess it's making him more money. But this is something that he shouldn't want, because replicants are physically stronger than humans, and should an uprising happen, they would easily just take us over. Something that Lieutenant Joshi said will start a war, and something that Frieza, who is the leader of the replicant rebellion, also wants. So why would Wallace want this? Maybe he's just so blindly arrogant that he just thinks that he can control them. You see what I did there? Number 3, why doesn't Love just kill Kay when she captures Deckard? Seriously. This is an ongoing cliche in every movie, going back to, I don't know, the beginning of movies. It basically happens in every James Bond movie. When the villain captures James Bond, but doesn't like kill him immediately or watch him die and then like leaves. It's the exact same shit. This is one thing that I just didn't like about the movie. When the fucking car explodes, just have Kate blow into another room so that they don't know that he's there or something. I don't know. Anything. She just steps on his electronic girlfriend and then leaves him there to die. Like in every movie ever. It's obviously not going to happen. He's the hero. I expected more from you on that, Blade Runner. Number 4, how did Kay get one of Anna's memories? So Anna is the child that was birthed from Rachel. And she also creates memories for the replicants. Kay winds up with one of her memories. So how did it happen? Did she put it in there? Now the only clue that they gave us, and I'm paraphrasing here, was when Frieza said something along the lines of, oh, you thought it was you. Most of us thought that it was us. Something like that. I'm not exactly sure how she put it, but that's what she said. And that's the only clue that was like, well, do they all have this memory? Is that what kind of like woke them? And now they're rebelling? They gave us nothing. They gave us nothing on that. And number 5, the question that everyone's been asking since the original Blade Runner. Is Deckard a replicant? Still unanswered. Ridley Scott has gone to say yes that he is. Wallace says yes that he is. But the movie kind of leans to no. Especially when Deckard says, I know what's real. To kind of basically say, fuck you, I am real. He could be a replicant. He could not be a replicant. It could really either go either way. It's 50-50. Who knows? Personally, I don't think he is, but again, who knows? It could go either way. Hey, thanks for hanging out with me. Now I'm going to give my review of the movie. I'm going to give this movie an 8.8 out of 10. I thought it was fantastic. The only thing holding me back from giving it the 9 were some of the plot holes that I had just mentioned. And like I said, it was at times a little confusing to follow. But again, that does not make it a bad movie. It is still a very, very, very good, possibly Oscar-nominated movie. If you've seen it, comment below. What are your thoughts on the top 5 what the fuck questions that I came up with? Do you think that Deckard is a replicant? Do you think he's not? If so, why? On either of those. Just comment in the comment section below. I will do my best to reply. Please, if you haven't already, subscribe to my channel. It would really mean a lot to me. And also, make sure to follow me in life on Twitter and Instagram at Trezzanator. Hopefully I will see you guys on all of my other segments. Thanks for watching.